I know Christy was planning on getting on, but she's got a few things going on. So I'm recording this call. And also, first of all, congratulations, Nathan, you hit Success Club, correct? You're hitting the ground running, and I know you're going to get enrolled soon. So you have a coach too? Yes. Okay. I saw you were SC6, I think. So congratulations on that. That's a big deal. And then any of you who have hit Success Club already, congratulations, but we still have 2 weeks left. So there's plenty of time. I haven't looked super detailed, so I just happened to notice Nathan hit it, and he's a new coach. So that's very exciting. So I have something I want to share with you guys, just because, yes, Teresa, you're going to get there. I totally know it. I just want to share it with you guys because I'm super excited about it. And I'm not sharing on social media yet because it's not officially official at my work. They have to, there's some official things they need to do, like talking to my union and things like that. But I get to go part-time next year, and I'm super excited. So there was an opportunity that came up at my work where there's just higher needs with, we're just getting a lot more students who have special needs in our district, and they needed to hire another social worker for a part-time basis. And I immediately was like, okay. So I came home and I talked to Greg, and we ran some numbers, and obviously Beachbody is an important factor here because, I need to, keep plugging along. And we made the decision that I am going to go part-time, and I didn't make the decision. I made the decision that I was going to apply for it. So I contacted my supervisor the next day, and she said I was going to have to go through the interview process and all of that. So I was preparing to go through that. And then this morning she talked to me and said, you know what, we're not going to make you go through that because I think this would be a good fit for you. And so it should be official by the end of the week. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited to share about it on social media. I've never been part-time in my whole working career, and I'm excited to do that. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you guys. So I'm a little hyped up because that was the news I found out today. So I was like, yay! So that means 2 days a week I'll be working full-time on Beachbody. So I'll be working 3 days per week on my other job. So anyway, okay. So coaching opportunity, that's always a difficult area for people. And I'm just going to kind of talk about it for a few minutes, and I'm going to let Sarah run with it. So we have a coaching call on Sunday, which is, we decided we're going to do a Zoom call. We've done some live events, which I know a lot of people have success with. Personally, I've had a lot of success with live Zoom calls. If we can get people on the call, typically when I get someone on a call, they're invested enough, they're sitting on a computer and they're listening to what you say, and they're live with you. I know on live Facebook, people can kind of creep on there, but when there's some accountability piece with being on a live Zoom call, that's why I always appreciate when people get on live with these, because you're committing, you're putting something into it. So, hey, Jessica Cooper. So when people put I feel like when they get on the live Zoom calls, and for me personally, people generally, I would say 8 times out of 10, if I can get them on the Zoom call, generally they sign up as a coach. So I brought up this to a few coaches, hey, let's do a live Zoom. So we're doing a handful of us are doing a live Zoom on Sunday. So everyone's invited to invite people to it. You don't have to present or anything on it, but please invite people to it. We'll share more information in the team page. But that is something that be listening out for. So that will give you something to invite people to, because when I invite someone to the coaching opportunity, it's nice to say, okay, this would be, would you be willing to listen to this video? Okay. I don't get as much success with that, but when I have, the most success I have is when I say, hey, would you be willing to hop on this call? There's no pressure or anything like this. It's just a Zoom call. You don't have to speak at all. You kind of just seeing us and we're talking about our stuff. And so that's kind of how I keep it super casual. And if they get on, generally I have pretty good success with it. So it's just a good way for you to have something to invite to. So our challenge this week for you is we want to make this like a challenge week for all of us to see how many invites can we get this week. Okay. Now I don't want you just cold inviting everybody and just like blasting everything on people. I'm not saying cold invites are bad because I do them, but what I'm saying is really push yourself beyond your comfort zone and finally ask those people you've been wanting to ask. I highly, highly recommend you work off a list. So before you get started, if you haven't already, I want you to make a list of 20 people, 20 to 50 people that you would love to have on your team. Okay, kind of like dream people. Maybe they're current challengers. I would suggest starting with current challengers who, especially the ones that are engaged in your group, if they're engaged in the group, they're invested in the program, they believe in the product, those are the perfect people to start with. But make your list of 20 to, I would say 20 to 50, start minimum 20 and start hammering them out. And so kind of our idea, or Sarah came up with this idea of us sort of having a competition to see by Sunday morning, or I don't know if we have a time that we want to kind of cut it off, like who can get the most invites. And it's obviously on the honor system. And then I'm going to buy the winner a little something, probably like some Beachbody gear or something. I want to see if we can get a ton of people on this Zoom call. I think it would be really amazing to have this Zoom call loaded with people. So that's the competition we're going to do. So what that means is you got to be able to plan some time for yourself this week, make your list, and start inviting people. Okay, make it part of your power hour. And I think for a lot of coaches, it's just been one of those things where it's the scary part, so you do it last. No, make it the thing you do first. It's like Eat That Frog. If you haven't read that book before, Eat That Frog, it's about doing the things that you don't, or that scare you the most, do those things first. And you will feel so accomplished and you'll see your business move forward. And I'm telling you, we're doing this to help everyone move their business forward because that's all of our goals. Our goal is to help people, but we're not going to help people if we don't present the opportunity to them. So you have to keep that in mind. Why does it say my internet connection is unstable? Hopefully this doesn't come up. Anyway, so that's my spiel. Yes, friendly competition. I love it too. So it'll get me going too. Keep me plugging along. So Sarah, do you want to share some of the Josh Coates info that was shared in the Dash to Diamond, or is there anything else I need to add about that competition? I don't know. I just wrote some notes. I don't think I have missed anything.
I can share some notes. I know several of you. Missy listened to that. Missy Wardy, she was on when I was on. Stephanie, did you? You're muted, girl. I'm not very good at reading lips.
Which Stephanie are you talking to? Me?
Both of you,
Yeah, Stephanie. I wasn't on it. I haven't watched it yet.
Okay. Some of you might hear a repeat. I do want to piggyback off of what Sarah said. Inviting is still the very scariest thing for me, and I don't know why. Because really you're just sharing something that has changed your life. And I just look at it that way. Sorry, all my notifications are going off. So I took a look at it that way. And I just did the scariest invite today that I've done in a while. I invited my sister-in-law who quit back to coaching, and my brother. And they're really considering it. I don't think they'll do anything with it, but I think they're going to have on board. And the other scary invite I did was my oldest brother. He actually listened to our complete live event, and I don't know why. They're my brothers. I don't know why that was the scariest, but it was. Anyway, I know some of you, it would be great if Kim and Michael hopped on board, but it's still the scariest for me, and it's something you got to do if you want to make it a business. And I'm just learning that. You just got to do it. So I would set a goal. I would make a list, like Sarah said, of your dream team, your absolute dream team. Who are your people? Who, even if you think they'd never consider it, and go as far back as you need to. Childhood friends, family, college. I have college teammates that I haven't invited to this opportunity, and I know they would be great at it. And just make that dream team list. And those are your warm invites. What's the worst that they're going to say? No. They're going to say no. And then you can ask them why. So Josh Coates, Yes, Kim Sink. Question mark. Yes, Stephanie Kim Sink. I invited my brother back. I really worked through him and not Kim. I was kind of a chicken shit about it, but oops, this is recorded. So the Josh Coates is in this Dash to Diamond training. He was flipping awesome. Like, he's in your face. This is what you need to do. He's very blunt. But what I liked about him, he really talked about goals. And I'm looking at my notes now. And I know Missy Wardy, you can comment on this too, because you really, I think, latched onto some things that I latched onto. He said, first of all, if you want to build a business of your dreams, which hopefully everybody in here does, you show up every single day. Every day you show up. And the number one thing you need to do is to hit that reset button. And you have to hit that immediately. So you set big goals every single month, but you set big goals with the idea in mind that you're not going to reach them. You should have goals that you won't reach. And goals are meant to stretch you. And he really talked about all these top coaches, like Sarah said he works with, I think, what did he say, 6 of the top 10 coaches? 6 of the top 10 Beachbody coaches. And all of them fail more than they succeed. I actually messaged him to see what his price was because I want to work with him. Anyway, that's a side tangent, so I'm not going to go down that road. But he said all of them fail more than they succeed, and that you should be missing goals every month. You should be missing goals every month. They're meant to stretch you, and you have to keep reaching. You have to keep stretching. And everything I'm telling you right now, I feel like is awesome stuff because you can apply it to your challengers. You know, how many times do we have them reach for goals? Or the number one thing I hear, and Nathan, maybe you can comment because you're running this group with me and Carl's in this group, is they're afraid of failing. That's their biggest fear, these challengers. I'm afraid of failing. And Josh Coates is all about you need to be failing because then you're setting big goals. The key is, though, when you don't reach those goals, you've obviously advanced your business or you've stretched yourself, that as soon as the month is over, you hit the reset button and you go back at it and you set another goal. You don't wait and feel sorry for yourself. You don't get scared and then set a smaller goal because you didn't reach that first one. You have to hit that reset button. And champions are not afraid of failure, and they keep hitting that reset button month after month after month. And then the other thing he said, they hit that reset button instead of crying, instead of whining, instead of being a victim, which I have done. Like many of you know, when Kim left the coaching, and it was a good decision for her and her family at the time, but I was like, what? I cried and whined for like 3 months about it. And it was a loss for me. And the coaches that were under her, you know, they really miss her and they miss her to this day. But that, I can't let that stop me and hold me back. So instead of whining and crying, you hit reset and you set another goal. And so my goal is, and I have them on this team, to find another Kim, not another, someone who's going to put the effort in that she does. And I've done that. I mean, we have people on this team that are doing that. So hit that reset every single month and set goals that are scary. He said, I love this, set goals that make you want to puke. Like, they're so scary, you want to physically throw up. And then when you think you're going to puke, you have a goal. You have a goal that's worth going for. So humans naturally set limitations on ourselves. That's why it's so important to surround yourself with awesome people. That's why it's so important to be on these calls. It's so important to go to live events. It's so important to check in. It's so important to be around your challengers and other coaches who are like-minded, because we limit ourselves. And you're going to have, I did this with a coach. I won't name any names, but he's a male coach on this call. And there's only 2 of them. I did it with his coach. The other day he texted me a goal and I said, you're not thinking big enough. You're not thinking big enough. And he knew it. But when you're surrounded by people who know what your potential is, you break through some of those limitations. So you place limitations on yourself, whether it's time, money, and share this with your challengers too. Time, money, looks, age, your skill. You don't know about network marketing. You're not good at social media. I mean, we have all these limitations. But the one thing that is the deciding, none of those things matter. Your age, your looks, what kind of shape you're in, how good you are at social media, none of those things matter. It's really your mindset. When you decide you're capable of making this business a business, you're going to do it. When you decide I'm going emerald and I'm keeping it, you're going to do it. When you make a decision that I'm going to be 5-star by, I'll tell you my goal that makes me want to puke. 5-star by Summit. Summit's in July. I am a diamond coach. I need 5 diamonds to be 5-star. Okay? I know you're not idiots, but so I don't know why I told you that, because you know that. That goal makes me want to puke. Am I going to reach it? I'm going to sure as hell try. I'm going to have my actions match that. But if I don't reach that by Summit, then I'm going to hit that reset and I'm going to continue to move forward. So, but I've made that decision. I've made that decision that no matter how many coaches quit, no matter who just tells me they're going to work and they don't, no matter how many times I hear no, which has probably been about 80 in the last 2 weeks, I'm still gonna make it work. I'm still gonna do this. And I feel like everyone on this call has made a decision to work this business. So you just have to decide what you're capable of and get rid of those limiting beliefs. And if you have them, talk to a coach, talk to someone on this call, because they're going to tell you like it is. They see you in a different light. And I feel like we see each other in a different light. And that's a positive thing. So make that breakthrough. So that's the first thing you talked about, reset every single month. You don't hit Success Club, reset, you're back at it again the next month. You lose rank, reset, you're back at it the next month, and continue to set those goals. Okay? Hi, Ava. What are you wearing? I love it. That's so awesome.
It's like pajamas that also roll up into a stuffed animal, into this ball stuffed animal.
That is sweet. Oh, my kids would love that. Okay. The second thing he talked about, and I love this the best, is that you never, ever aim for a goal you've already hit. Missy Wardy, are you giving me like an amen now? Because that's what you and I do. So if you hit emerald, for example, and you lose emerald should not be your goal. You've already hit that. Your goal should be diamond or 2-star, or make yourself puke and go 5-star. If you have already hit Success Club 6 in a month, and that's the highest you've hit, your goal should not be Success Club 6 again. It should be 10. So my goal for Success Club this month, and I think I'm at 6 right now, my goal is 25. That's my goal. Because I've already hit 23. So my goal is 25. I'm at 6. Who cares? We have 2 weeks left. I'm going to make it happen somehow. So your goals that you're setting should be bigger and greater than goals you've already hit. And I wasn't doing that. I'm going to be honest with you. So a goal that I had was, I want to get 2-star diamond back. Well, I've already hit that. So I should have a bigger goal than that. So reach bigger. I loved this activity. I actually want to do it in our challenge group. He said that he was at a conference and the presenter had everyone raise their arm up as high as they could. So if you go ahead, do this. Humor me. Raise your arm up as high as you can. As high as you can. Now reach a little higher. Were you able to reach higher? You can always give more. You can always reach higher. And you can find a way to keep raising the bar. So make it happen. You know, you guys need to take ownership of your business. You know that. You decide how far you go. The other piece I really liked, he talked about, should I keep going? Let me keep going.
Yeah, we're good. We're gonna
Okay.
whenever you're done.
So that was 2. Okay. So number 1 was reset. Number 2 was to never aim for a goal you've already hit. And you guys, that's like life. Okay. I just feel like that's life. And this is what you can tell your kids. I feel like everything we learn is not just Beachbody. It can spill over into other areas. The third one he talked about is that there's always more in the tank. You can always give more. And if you think about your workouts, can you give more? I wanted to shut down on my second workout today, and I thought of that. I can give more. So you find a way. Here's an example. He gave an example of conditioning, and it made me think of my own conditioning in college, where we actually did have the soccer coach. So I played basketball in college, and we had our PT, our physical fitness time before the season, and it was always 2 hours on the track. Always 2 hours on the track. And we did sprints, and then we did weight room stuff, and we were gassed by the end. Well, then our coaches started having the soccer coach come in after the 2 hours to run us into the ground. And we did it. Just when we thought we were going to die, we did it. We always had more to give. And then the worst one was where and I didn't think I had anything left. Like, people are laying on the ground, players. And we had gone through 2 hours of conditioning, and our coach said, okay, we have a timed mile. And if you've ever done a timed mile for a sport, they're legit, they're serious. But we had to beat our time from like 6 weeks earlier. And if we didn't, we had to do it again, back to back. And you better believe that we went for that timed mile. And I did puke after that workout, but I beat it by like 3 seconds. I didn't think I had anything left in the tank. So just think about that. There's usually more to give. And how do you stay motivated? Because really, your body is capable, and you have to convince your mind. In this business, you have to convince your mind. So how do you stay motivated? I don't know, that's where your big why comes into play. I stay motivated with my family, and I liked what Josh Coates talked about. He said, my kids deserve to have, well, he said, Dad, I'll rephrase for me. My kids deserve to have a mom who doesn't give up on her dreams or her purpose. And you're the only one that can change your life and make it better. You're it. So he talked about, he talked about the house on fire analogy. And I don't really remember that one, so I'm not going to share it. Missy, do you remember it? You don't? I guess I didn't take very good notes on that. Basically, I guess remember part of it. Basically, he said, if your house is on fire, if you pulled up and your house is on fire and your kids were inside, you would do anything to save them. Anything. Breaking down doors, busting windows. You would do anything to save them because the house is on fire. And your financial struggles, if you have them, your house right now is on fire. What are you going to do to save yourself? And what are you going to do to save your kids? If you have financial struggles, that's one of mine. I want to get out of debt. What's your purpose? If you're living less than your best, you have a purpose. And every single day, if you're living life less than your best, then your house is on fire. And that was his whole point. If you're living less than what you're capable of, your house is on fire, and you need to make a change. And I love this piece too. If you're not, don't you dare ask your kids to go for their dreams and shoot for the stars if you're making excuses. If you're going to be a hypocrite, then you just got to knock that crap off. You can't ask your own children to dream big and work hard if you're not going to do it. You can't ask your children to say, oh, you can't, don't use the word can't. Like my kids still say that. I can't do it. Now they're getting better. They add the word yet to it. But I don't model that anymore. I used to. So you can't ask your kids to go for their goals and dreams if you're not doing it yourself, because they're going to do what you do, not what you say. They're going to do what you do. And does anyone have drivers in there? I don't know, your kid's old enough to drive, or they all little? I think about when my kids are driving, not yet, but when that day comes, I can't say to them, oh, don't check your phone when you're driving, or no texting and driving, and then I have my phone out. I can't do that. They're gonna model what I do. Okay. So, and it's true. My 12-year-old right now is figuring out how to start her own business. She's figuring that out. She's actually making some really cool projects. It's a passion of hers, and she's figuring out how to be an entrepreneur. She made business cards instead of doing her math homework. We had a little chat about that. But they do as you do. And it's really, if you're making excuses, it's your comfort is driving you over your purpose. You're comfort driven over purpose driven. And just make a change. You should really, if you're going to make a goal, this be purpose driven, or whatever it is in life. So a lot of people in your challengers too will choose fear and comfort. So if you don't push, and I know Sarah talked about recruiting, if you say, oh, I don't want to recruit because I don't want to help people, or I only want to help people, that's my goal, I want to help people, then you're kind of full of it. That's BS, because you're not helping anyone if you're not inviting. You're not. If you don't push for numbers, you're not helping people. And that was hard for me to get over. Oh, I feel bad getting paid for helping someone. Well, you know, it's just part of the business. So he talked about there's no such thing as or. It's not I help people or I push for numbers. They're together. The more numbers you get, the higher Success Club points you get, the more people you're reaching and helping. So they go hand in hand. If you say you want to help people and that's your purpose, you want to share this opportunity, you want to help people with their health and fitness, and you're hitting Success Club 0, those do not match. So either your actions need to change, or you need help with language, or you're not inviting. And if you're not inviting to your challenge groups and you're not inviting to the opportunity, you're not helping people. So they go hand in hand. And finally, you know, just always think about why you became a coach and what it was like when you started. And that's what you can share. I mean, each of you became a coach for a reason or several reasons. And that's what you need to keep in mind. That's what I try to keep in mind so that I can get over the idea of, oh, I'm bothering people if I invite them. Or, I mean, forget that. I mean, right now I'm going to bang out 30 invites tonight if it kills me. And I'm going to come from a place of trying to help people. That's it. That's all I got. Whew. I'm sweating.
No, that was good, Sarah. I mean, if you guys haven't done a Josh Coates training, like, he is incredible. He's super motivating, and Sarah summed up pretty much what and he's just really cool. So, I mean, he helps really, he offers trainings. I don't know. I've done 2, I think. I've done 2. And they're not overly expensive, but he is a motivator, and he gets you like thinking about the things that really matter. Like, why are we doing this business? Like, you know, kind of mindset stuff that really, that's the core of motivation. You know, I'm not a big I don't really love the word motivation, but it's just an easy word to use. It's the getting to the core of motivation is getting to your why, and really understanding what you need and what you want for yourself and your family. As far as like how to go about doing it, yeah, there's lots of scripts and things like that, and I can share some. Sarah said she has some as well, and we can share that on the page. But really, a lot of it just comes from the heart, and you just want to keep asking questions, keep being interested in the person, and just kind of get over it. Like, Get Over Your Damn Self, that book. Get over your damn self and do it. Like, quit worrying about yourself and focus on them. Focus on what could this do for them. You know, we were a few of us are doing this challenge where we're trying to invite 300 people in the month of April. And I don't know, maybe halfway there. It's a lot. But I had to really get over myself, because some people I was like, no, they wouldn't want to do this. You know, I had to really like suck it up. And I was shocked with their response. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm so flattered by that. They didn't really understand the business. One person thought I was an It Works person. I was like, where did you get that idea? But okay. So I enlightened her, and she was like, oh, I don't know about coaching, but I'd like to be a challenger. You know what I mean? Like, so you just don't know. You can't assume, and you don't know what kind of value they're going to add. So just be real and, you know, focus. If you focus on that mindset, like Sarah said, get yourself in that mindset of wanting to help people, and it will be genuine. Be genuine. And I don't think you're gonna have any problems, but keep asking questions. When someone says, oh no, it's too much money, don't just say, okay, thanks, talk to you later. Ask questions, like ask more questions. Like, what do you think, you know, like, for example, someone said to me today, I don't think I have time to do this business. So the question I asked back was, how much time do you think I spend on the business? Just out of curiosity. That was my response. And I just saw she messaged me back. I don't know what her question. I could have easily been like, oh, that's okay. I understand. You have 3 kids, or no, she has 2 kids. She's a stay-at-home mom and has 2 kids. And I could easily say, okay, no, I understand. It's busy and you're probably running around with your kids in sports. Have a great week. I could have easily said that. But you have to keep asking questions and kind of getting to their why and understanding where they're coming from. I think that's the big thing. Start with your challengers. Again, make the list, work off the list, and just check as you go. Use Teamsy, whatever tracking system you use. I use Teamsy, but with this 300 invite thing, I actually am using paper and pencil as well, because when I'm hammering out 30 invites, I'm just checking it off a list, and then I'll plug it into Teamsy later. That's just kind of how I'm doing it, because I don't have time for, sitting there and plugging it into Teamsy sometimes. So if you don't have a tracking system, I know, Teresa, you're pretty new. I don't know if you have a tracking system yet, but you're going to want to figure out a system. Some top coaches use paper and pencil still, and that's totally okay. There's a program called Asana. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I know that some people use that. There's Teamsy. You can use spreadsheets, but you definitely need to track it and make sure you're following up with people. Set up follow-up dates. If they say, give you some sort of reason or excuse, make sure you say, hey, it sounds like this month is really busy for you. Do you mind if I check back with you and whatever? So always make sure when you end a conversation, you either end it with a question or a discussion about the next time you're going to touch base with them, so that there's going to be a connection soon. Either they're responding to a question or you have gotten their permission to follow up with them in the next month. Don't just close a conversation out and be done with it. That's how conversations die. That's just a little tip for you. Okay. Yeah.
To put it in perspective too, when I would say my first year, 8 months to a year of coaching, I wasn't sending out 30 invites in a night or a week or even a month. So my goal was 5-3-2. That was my goal, and it worked. It got me to diamond. It was 5-3-2 every day for the first 6 months of my business. 5 connections. I never even talked about Beachbody. I would just connect on social media with someone, like a post, comment, message them. Hey, it's been a while. You're looking great. Like Sarah said, ask a question. 3 follow-ups. I think it was 3 follow-ups, or maybe it was 3. Yeah, and then I would do add 2 new people to my network. Mm-hmm. That's what I did every day, 5-3-2. And maybe I would do 1 invite a week. And it's natural to start with your challengers. But if you're not inviting, you're going to just be at a standstill.
Okay, we're at less than a minute. I just put that in there. But okay, so start tracking, pay attention to how many invites you're doing. We'll stay in touch in Team Allstars, and then I'll shoot out a little prize for someone by the end of the week. Stay tuned for our call. We'll post about that, what time the call's for, but let's make it a huge call. Let's get so many people on. Let's make this let's end April strong. And I'm excited for